Hey guys, it's Adam here. I'm coming into this video. I'm trying to come up with a plan of like what all I want to say, and it's really not that easy. And I just like hit fucking record, and I'm just like I'm just gonna go with it. I just have so many things stirring up here right now, and it's hard for me to I don't know, organize it and put it into communication that's going to make sense. Anyways, I want to talk about the channel and myself, and I'm going to put all my usual jokes and sarcasm aside, and the whole Adam the Great persona aside for a second here, and I just want to talk candidly, and even more so who I showing you really my real personality um, in this video, because I feel like throughout the years of doing this channel that I've become really misunderstood, and I feel like that just in general in life. Um, I've always been kind of the like an alt kind of guy. I've always been like the I'm a metalhead. I don't get into like pop music. You know what I mean? I'm not a very mainstream kind of guy, and I knew that going into the channel, that I was going to be a very niche personality, that I was never going to see any kind of a mainstream success. All I really cared about was that I would reach enough success to where I could make a living, making content, um, because that's what makes me happy. I really like, just sharing things with people. Um, I am very talkative and often to my detriment. I know this, but I've accepted that that's just how I am. Um, but the thing is, one of the things that I feel that's gotten very misunderstood uh, was that I get called out a lot for not being honest, and I think that comes along with the whole Adam the Great personality of being really sarcastic and making joke of things or making light of things. Um, you kind of know this going into when you make content that you got to take negative comments with a grain of salt, but they hit you a lot harder when there is some truth to it, and that's what a lot of these trolls do. And I know I'm probably making it even worse for myself by coming out and saying that they bother me, because then it just lets the trolls know that they are getting to me. Um, but it's not like they get to me, but they don't. This is the usual thing that's going on in my mind, just like massive amounts of dichotomies, and I think that makes it another one of the things that makes me misunderstood. When I read a lot of comments, what spawned me to want to do this video was seeing, some of you may know, some of you might not know, but I did a interview with Aaron Smith Levin on the Growing Up in Scientology YouTube channel. I want to give a little bit of background. I was actually going to make this like a whole second video. I was going to talk more about just this channel, the past, and what's to come, what's the future. And I was going to make this a whole separate video, but it's very relevant, so we'll just add this in. There was an overwhelming amount of positive feedback to that video. There was also an overwhelmingly amount of negative feedback, where a lot of people were like, he clearly does actually have ADD or ADHD. He should be drugged. I know that Aaron probably has, especially with how much he's been growing since I did that interview. He's grown a lot. I think when I did that, he had about 30 or 40,000 subs, and I think he's sitting about, I want to say like 130 or 140,000, something like that. Yeah, there was a lot of those negative comments saying I'm full of shit, I'm lying. I obviously wasn't shoulder to shoulder with Celebrity Center as I claimed, and that Aaron should have known better and pushed back more. And listen, I don't know if this is OSA from the church that's just going in there to try to discredit him, or if these are actually like true followers of his. But you guys don't realize if you are a true follower of his, then you're actually knocking him as well. Aaron would not have done that interview with me. I'm sure if he thought that my story was dishonest. I'm fairly sure that he probably did some of his due diligence. You can very easily look me up on Google if you look up my real name, which is Adam Pyers. I always, when I started doing this channel, I always wanted to be as transparent as possible because I know that that's something that a lot of people hate in just everything, in general. We all hate that with our own government. We hate that with a lot of companies. We hate that with other creators. And you know what? And a lot of times they're very justified in hiding those things. And I don't have a problem with that personally, but I just wanted to. I wanted to be more personable and feel like I could create a safe place for us to have a community where we could all get to know each other. And oftentimes, the more candid and transparent and honest that I become, to my surprise, seems to bring out more hate, at least in my case. There was a video that I did a while back that I ended up deleting when I was getting evicted from the apartment that I had in Austin. And that was the biggest rut of my life. I'm about to be 37. I'm going to be 37 in March. I had never thought that I would ever be looking at becoming homeless. I always, at least in my mind, had thought that I had good work ethic and I was a hardworking guy. And just due to my own knowledge of my own background, I mean, when I was in the Navy for almost 4 years, I mean, they work you to death. And any other veteran that sees this, they'll know. The military works you to death, okay? And I was okay with that because for me, a career is just part of your lifestyle. Unless it's something that you hate, then obviously it's not. And then to me, it's my whole perspective on life is, don't do anything you hate. Do something that you want to do and that you love, that's a part of your life. And I was always into military stuff, even when I was younger, when I was growing up. I've always been into a lot of things. And then, when I got out and I got into the car business, you have to work to death if you're going to make ends meet. I mean, you got to put in 70, 80, 90 hours a week on the lot if you're going to make money. That shifted a lot when I moved to LA, and I started working at WeBuyCars.com. And I had a 40-hour a week work schedule, and I got paid hourly with bonuses instead of just flat commission like a normal dealership would. And I actually really liked that because it created a little bit more of a stable paycheck for me. But oftentimes I was working 48 hours a week. I was taking an extra shift every week. It was getting to a point where I was, when I started my channel back in, when I really started my channel, I should say, when I really started pumping out content back in 2016, 2017, around that time, I was very much so in the middle of the Church of Scientology. And the real reason why I started the channel was because I needed the extra money to go up the bridge. And I took out a lot of money in loans. And I know I talked about this before in that 5-hour live stream that I did when I first came out, about the fact that I was in Scientology and that I had left. I don't even know where I'm trying to go with all this, I'm just trying to vent and get things off my mind. I feel like I should probably do this kind of thing more often. Let's get back to what I was talking about when I did that video that I deleted. It was the only video I ever deleted on my channel. When I was getting evicted, and I came out, and I said, I really need the money. I need the money or I'm about to go homeless. And at the same time, I was talking about how I was feeling. I've always struggled with depression and suicidal thoughts. I shouldn't say always, but for a very long time I've been struggling with that. If there's any of a real mental health diagnosis to make, that would be it. I'm sure a lot of it was made worse from my time in the military, especially when I went to Haiti. I still think about that, my time there in Haiti daily. But look, I'm not trying to beg for approval. I don't give a fuck at this point anymore. I don't even give a fuck about looking for any kind of an acceptance from anyone. I just want to be understood. That's it. And it's very frustrating for me when I'm not. That's what bothers me. That is what bothers me the most. I'm not some media fucking trained, grew up a celeb or something, or having a parent as a celeb. Look, I fucking grew up in the middle of fucking nowhere in Western Mass, where dreams are often not delivered to the majority of those residents. Those of us that have grown up there, or those that are, those that still live there, big dreams don't normally come to those people. And if any of you live in a small town, you'll know that. You'll know that's how it is. And especially, when you grow up like that, everyone knows each other. And I feel like for me, that's probably a big part of why I am so self-conscious in a lot of ways. And I am trying to move away with that and just not give a fuck. The whole reason I got involved with Scientology in the first place was probably mostly because I was looking for acceptance. And when I first started out, I was accepted. That's how they get you. They look for people that have low self-esteem, people that need help. I mean, that is literally how they sell you in a policy that they call come on dissemination. Basically, the policy just says, it's like come on dissemination, like come on. That's what that means. And he gives you basically a whole sales pitch about, not sales pitch, but he's teaching you the sales pitch of how you would find someone's ruin, which means like, what's ruining someone's life, what's like the biggest thing on someone's mind that's ruining them. That's probably the best way I can describe it. And they find that, and then they say Scientology can fix that, and you get met with a lot of praise for just being yourself at the start. But the more and more you get involved, the more and more that they kind of mold you to be the way that they want you to be, which goes against my whole personality at its core. As I stated in the beginning of this, I'm a very alt kind of guy. I'm not mainstream kind of guy. And I like that about myself. I like trying to explore life and be more adventurous and look out beyond what's at surface level, Also, I literally just thought about this, that I apologize. I should have said this at the beginning. I apologize that the audio is probably fucked. Literally the only microphone that I have right now that's working well is my webcam microphone. So anyways, let's keep moving on here. So basically, I think I've given a pretty good outline here, or summary at least, without rambling and making this a 3-hour video. I'm trying to keep this under 30 minutes. We're already at like 16. So I hope, anyways, that I've given a good summary of my mindset, just in general, how I look at things, my perspective on anything in life. I've always been in the middle on everything. Politics, growing up, My parents are divorced. They always pinned me in the middle of them. I think that's probably what led me to, I actually literally just had a conversation with my mother about this, and I think that's what led me to just, become in the middle and everything. I always was the kind of guy that, I'd end up in the middle of two friends that are fighting, like I already stated, I consider myself in the middle politically. I'm sure those that are on the left would consider me a right-wing conspiracy theorist, and with the way things are lately, and I'm sure those that are on the right would consider me some sort of a leftist crazy person. I consider myself in the middle, mostly because I'd love to see pot legalized, and that's a leftist thing. And however, I agree with things like constitutional carry, and that there should be limits on abortion, which is more of right-way thinking. Actually, right-way thinking is more of that there shouldn't be any kind of abortion, and I don't fully agree with that. But I don't fully agree with the left on their stance, which is we should be able to kill babies after they're born. I know not everyone thinks that; those are the extremes. So, which I think would just further point out that most people are probably more moderate, and that we probably could come together, and there should be less division in this country. That's another one of those things that are bothering me right now, and that's why I'm bringing it up. I've got a lot of things on my mind, as you guys can tell. Anyways, the reason I mentioned that Aaron thing was because when I, with that interview I did with Aaron on growing up in Scientology, those negative comments, because it's very demotivating. And it makes it a lot harder for me to figure out what it is I really want to do anymore. Because I do want my content to be successful. I would love to be in front of people, but it's not that I do it because I'm looking for, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore, to be honest with you guys. You guys can see my dilemma, I think. The reason I deleted it was because that one video was because I knew that it was misunderstood. Look, I was just trying to put forth everything that was going on at the same time, but the majority of the comments were that saying that they were so judgmental, But here's the thing: this is why people don't want to talk about suicide. Look, this is why it fucking bothered me so much, because here I am, for the first time, really telling you the depths of what's going on inside of me, and I get fucking ripped apart and judged for that. And to see it from people that were names that I recognize, names that I've seen in streams day after day, that fucking kills you. And look, I'm gonna take some of the responsibility. I'm sure I know I don't always come off the right way. I'm trying my fucking best, okay? Look, we're all human, and I've always tried to not be... Look, I'm judgmental to a degree, especially when it comes to more common sense stuff, but at the same time, I do try to not judge others, and I do try to look at other people's perspectives, because you don't know what people are dealing with. You don't know what... we don't know everything that we're all trying to deal with, To me, I was just trying to come out with everything that was going on at that time. The channel was dying. It was my only source of income. Everyone was like, oh, go get another job. You don't understand at the same time, and I didn't really get too much into it at the time. Look, guys, I'm a disabled vet, all right? I'm rated 90% from the VA. I'm awaiting a case right now that more than likely is going to put me at 100% disabled with the VA, okay? And I know someone can look at it and be like, oh, well, look at you. You're healthy. You're young. You don't understand what's fucking going on inside my fucking body. So shut the fuck up and quit being so fucking judgmental about other people when you don't fucking know what's really going on, okay? I try to put out just a little bit of fucking honesty, and I get slammed for it. And then I see this happen to a lot of other people. I know that doesn't happen to just me, which is the one thing that makes me hopeful and makes me feel like I'm not alone, okay? But still, nonetheless, fucking stop. Stop being dickheads. I don't know why. I don't know what fucking happened with society, but things have changed. And they've gone in an incredibly bad direction. And you can see that with political polls, where majority of people feel that this country is not going in the right direction. And it's not just this country. Look, it's all around the world. And I'm going to say right now, I've been all over the fucking place being in the Navy. And those that have traveled and are more world traveled, you know, I think would agree with me. But I also see that, you know, I get these opinions, and I see these opinions from people that never fucking left my small ass fucking town where I grew up, and they think they're fucking experts about the world, you know. I see people that I grew up with that are like, we should be more like Sweden. Bro, have you ever been to fucking Sweden? Have you ever talked to someone from Sweden? You know? Look, I know I'm rambling, and I was gonna put something on Notepad, and then I was just like, you know, I'm just fucking, I'm gonna hit record, and I'm just gonna fucking go with it like I normally do. Yeah, you know what? I do have mental health issues, and I know that, and I'm about to be starting therapy soon, again, through the VA. It's not easy for any of us. We're all just trying to make it. We're all just trying to figure it out. We're all looking for answers. I'm still looking for my own answers. Still trying to figure it out. It doesn't make me, you know, some evil guy. Look, when I did that video, you know, that killed my channel. It killed my future with making content. Even when I switched to Twitch, you know, I never really recovered from that. And those little, and there was a lot of those little speed bumps along the way that I just never recovered from. I guess that's just how I am. I don't recover from losses very well. Like when, you know, I had the whole copyright strike because of the Scatman thing. They killed things. They killed my momentum. And at the same time, when I was going along doing that, you know, I always knew that it wasn't going to stay the same. You know, PUBG is not going to last forever. And I know it probably looked like I'm a kind of guy that mains a game, but I don't. I just got lucky where I was doing a game that, you know, that I liked, that became very mainstream and became very popular, and I saw a bit of success for a little while there on this channel because of it. But I have a lot of interest. I have a lot of interest beyond just video games, and I know that makes me more niche, and I know that makes it a lot harder for me to be successful. And basically what's been going through my mind just these past few weeks is, how am I going to make this work to where I can do pretty much just everything that interests me and not be just so niche where everyone hates me. Because, you know, that's the one thing. I don't want to be hated. I don't care to be liked, but I don't want to be hated, and I don't think anyone wants to be hated. So for that, I would definitely love to see some engagement in the comments below. What do you guys think? Look, I want to do more than just fishing content. It's a little hard right now because it's winter. I don't have a boat. I don't have a car, okay? So I need to... It's not easy for me to walk distances, especially if I'm trying to carry my gear. The last time I went out fishing, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make a video. We didn't catch shit except for some bait. And I'm not going to just make content where I'm just catching bait. But I needed help. I had a friend of mine help me. It's getting to that point where even going out by myself is becoming a little bit more of a challenge. It'll be easier once I, you know, do hopefully get 100% from the VA. Then I will be able to afford a car, and actually with that I'll actually be able to buy a house for myself, and I can get out of the whole rent. I just noticed that my beard is weird. I just trimmed. And when that happens, it'll be a little bit easier, because then I can just I can take as many trips as I need and put stuff in the car. Versus, you know, hiring an Uber to take me out where I have to carry everything in one trip, you know. And I've got a lot of gear at this point too. So fishing content will continue for sure. I'm debating on bringing back gaming content to the channel. More or less, I'm just playing World of Warships as far as my like multiplayer shooter goes, to get that fix. I've been replaying Red Dead Redemption again, but I know that it doesn't bring any views. No one cares. But at the same time, I'm trying to go with that whole mindset of like, well, if I'm trying to not seek people's approval, maybe I should just do it anyways, and just what comes comes. However, and I know the message wasn't. I was very bad at getting the message out, but I deleted the Discord mostly because it was already dead. We went from, I think it got up to almost 800 members in there, and then by the time I deleted it, there was only, well, I shouldn't say only, but there was about a little over 400 people in there, but it was dead. A lot of those were people that just weren't active. A lot of those were, alt accounts that were in there. I'd post something and that if I'm posting it, it's because I want to talk to people, and then to have no one even respond, or maybe just one person. It's like, what's the point? So I deleted it, and I deleted it. Also, I don't usually make a move on something unless I have multiple reasons to do so. I don't usually make a move on something just because there's one reason to not, to stop doing something or to do something else, But I got a death threat from Amgen. He used to stream World of Warships before he's been banned multiple times now from the game, because he just loves giving death threats. Not just to me, but he did it. He originally got banned because he gave death threats to Wargaming employees. He came back with an alt account. I'm fairly sure he probably match synced me. He's admitted it before that he was match syncing me. For the sole purpose just to troll. Look, I can troll every now and then too, but I don't. There's some people out there that, and you guys probably know what I'm talking about, where they just live to just be a troll. Because they're just actually evil people. They're actually nasty, bad. Sitting in their mother's basement, still, at 40 years old, just going, because they hate the fucking world. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things I fucking hate about the world too, and there's a lot of things where in my mindset I'm getting to a point, and that's why I have a hard time with dealing with these suicidal thoughts, is because I don't feel like I belong. And a lot of that goes with being this alt kind of guy. I've never been necessarily into something mainstream just because it's mainstream. I go out looking for things to like, or looking for things that I'm into. Anyways, guys, we're approaching that 30 minutes. I think I've gotten everything off of my chest. I'm sure I'm going to fucking record this and think, oh, maybe I should have said this. I should have said that. I think I'll edit this because the first couple minutes there was a little hard to get started here, to get rolling anyways with my thoughts. Anyways, yeah, look, in summary, the TLDR, it's not been easy. I'm not giving up. There is a future to this channel. It's gonna be a little bit more experimental. It's gonna be a little bit more slow going at the start, but hopefully I'll find my momentum. Hopefully, viewership can snowball at some point, and we can start riding that wave again, because it's fun. The reason I stopped streaming after that death threat, because it was just like, dude, I'm not gonna stream to 3 people, and you're streaming to 3 people and all you're doing is getting trolled. That's not worth it, and you're not making any money. It's like trying to find a reason for why it should be worth it, and it's not. It just got to a point where it just wasn't worth it for me. It wasn't even. It's not because at its very core, it's because it just wasn't fun anymore. It's getting to a point where that's not fun. Put yourself in my shoes and look at that and just be like, is that fun? Where you've been streaming all this time, and you've seen up to 300 plus people in your chat before, and chat's going like crazy. You're streaming to 3 people and all the chat's going crazy, but it's just all trolls and people hating on you. How's that fun for anyone? So anyways, I definitely would love to hear suggestions. Look, doesn't mean I'm gonna follow them, all right? But I'll definitely read them and consider a lot of these suggestions. And if it clicks, it clicks, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay. And the reason I say that is because one of those other barriers that we've had in the past was the whole, as we called it, as I called it, the mod apocalypse, when a lot of my mods decided to basically coup against me, or whatever you would want to call it. And that was mostly because they were trying to like run me. I don't want to be run by anyone. Yeah. There's no reason to really beat the dead horse on that one. I think I've talked about that enough in the past. Anyways, that's my thoughts. We'll just see where things go in the future, and hope for the best. And yeah, we'll just see where things go. Thanks for watching.